Hello. Um, Today is the 27th day of our reflective tarot, which is 3 weeks and 6 days of the Oma. And today we're looking at Yesod within Netzach, which is our card of the week, as you know. So Yesod is the 9th Sephirot and Netzach is the 7th. I'm recording this, funnily enough, on Beltane Eve, which is the 30th April, but because I'm kind of recording and scheduling them, because I started counting my Oma earlier, you'll get this on the 7th of April, but it had a lot of meaning for me because I think Yesod, which is about connection, it's about the birthing canal, it's about fertility, creativity, desire, relationship, and I think it's the energy of Beltane. So it's a beautiful time to actually have this Yesod in Netzach, because Netzach is the mastery of that. So I see this 9 of Swords. I think you can see him on there, but the 9 of Swords, I mean, he doesn't look very happy, but with these cards, my reflection was seeing this as the dark night of the soul energy. You know, those times in our lives when everything around us, or the tower moment, has come. If you look on the bottom of the bed, his bed, there's a picture of fighting, of conflict. So for me, this person is in a bed of mental battle. He's lying on a bed of mental battle and conflict. So I saw this as this person in the 9 of Swords as having allowed this trickster energy, this 7 of Swords, to take hold of her mind and being, you know, and to bring deception and a sense of failure, aloneness, separation, defeat, you know, all those things that we get tortured by, often in the night, because there's no distraction. So I was thinking that, you know, there is a process on our spiritual journey that brings this, you know, our tower moments, the lightning, the kind of tree of life lightning path, and the finger, the Yod, the finger of God. These moments are meant to wake us up to ourselves, though, not disable us like this, but to illuminate. It's the energy of the sun, in fact. The dark night of the sun was the illumination of the sun. You know, and to illuminate our reliance on connections, the connections of Yesod and attachments, which are egocentric, not soul-centric. So they're based in material reality rather than in soul essence. So when business or our relationship or anything disintegrates, we're brought face to face with ourselves, you know, and our feelings, the anger, the loss, the inner conflict. And we can sit there and fantasize about how we're right, you know, and we can have intense feelings of revenge. I see that as a kind of revenge. Yeah, so, you know, when that happens, it's a time when those moments come, that illumination of the sun, it illuminates us in our essence, really. So it's a time when our small self fights for survival, you know, our ego self fights for survival. And it can bring on inner torture. If we identify and attach to all that process, that will happen. It does happen. We all come across that at some point on the spiritual path. But if we identify with that, you know, we're not going to move past that. We're not going to grasp the meaning of that. So, yeah, and if we're attaching, I'm thinking, well, you know, as we fight, as our ego fights for survival, it can, you know, I said, it can bring that inner torture and a sense that life is happening to me, you know, sense of victimization, failure. And often when we have our, you know, our whole self, including our shadow, illuminated by that sun energy, we can feel shame, you know, intense shame or feelings of self-loathing, because we can see what we've created or manifested in our life and have that sense of shame and self-loathing, or we can project it out. You know, we can blame others. That's the trickster energy, you know, and then go and steal their swords or steal their peace of mind. Yeah. So we either have that intensification of inward focus, kind of shame, blame, self-loathing, or we can project it out, or sometimes we're clever and we can do both. We can feel guilty and shameful and also project it out. That's a really clever trickster ego if you do that. So, but what I was thinking is, you know, the nines, that numerologically, the nines are like transitions. So it's the ends of cycle, the ends of ways of being, the end of the archetype, the shadow side of that trickster archetype or the victim archetype. They're crumbling. And it's so powerful, you know, these powerful energies like the sun can move in. If we're surrendering to that process, you know, if we surrender ourselves, and surrender would be the balanced Hod and Netzach, because we can't look at Netzach without the Hod. So if we learn to surrender to that process and not attach to it, not become it, but surrender to it, observe it, see it, we can learn that the very circumstances are our medicine. This is this illumination of self that the sun brings. We can learn that, you know, they're our medicine, and sometimes they're the basis of our actually being here in the world. We can find that in these times of crisis, we can see our true essence. It's when we're undressed, our ego is stripped naked, and under that is our true essence. You know, it's a kind of stripping down, laying bare. And then if we embrace that process, we can learn the real foundation, Yesod, for our soul, for our essence, and then we can channel the medicine of that into the world. And we can creatively repair our intimacy, not only to ourselves, but to all that is, to you know, our relationships, our work, source, the environment. That is the dark night of the soul, really. I don't know if you've heard of Jung, but Carl Jung, the psychologist, he called this process dark night of the soul. He called it a descent to the soul, and he called it individuation. So it's so that we can realign with our true journey, you know, our soul journey, not our trickster ego journey, our soul journey. That was the illumination. That was according to Jung. And I was thinking as I was turning all this in my mind that collectively now the world soul is in the middle of a dark night of the soul. There are so many people, more than ever now, who are either sitting in this 9 of Swords energy or they're in that 7 of Swords energy. And if we're in those, we need to remember we're going through collectively. Not only are we individuating, but we're going through a collective dark night. It's a collective evolution as well as a personal experience. Because right now there's a massive paradigm shift going on. You know, we're the energies of Pisces in the great year, we're passing out of those and we're now passing into the energies of Aquarius. So this collective dark night of the soul is to balance the inward self-centered egoic, you know, on a collective level, on the collective consciousness that's focused on getting ahead, the Piscean energies, you know, the shadow Pisces energies, focused on getting ahead without the concern of those who you're crumbling, like this trickster, or who loses, who you steal from, metaphorically and literally, you know, just to feather your own nest. So this collective dark night of the soul, it's an energy that's coming in that is causing this, that's more holistic. It's it's about the whole. We're moving from individual energies, even though we're going through individual experiences, but it's a collective. So we need to know who we are at an individual level in order to navigate and to serve those Aquarian energies. They're cosmic energies that, whether we like it or not, they're coming, they're here. They're, you know, there's argument about whether we're in Aquarius or we're 100 years away, but whatever, those energies are here. So we need to know who we are at that level. So we're going to meet this one way or another. We're going to meet this, and then we can serve those Aquarian energies coming in us and around us. Otherwise, if we don't do that, if we don't wake up to that, and we keep in our divisiveness and our separateness, you know, a shadow of Netzach and Yesod, or we're attached to particular things and we'll kind of, you know, blow others away, we'll to keep, you know, keep attached to those things. If we don't get these foundations right, there's a chance that the collective energies will be hijacked again. And they'll be hijacked by the few who are understanding the cosmic cycles and usher us into an unhealthy collective, a tyrannical collective. You know, I don't believe that will happen, because I believe we're being woken up on such a large scale. There's so many people waking up. But we need to realise that our individual dark nights are a collective dark night. And we need to find out who we are. What is our medicine? What are we meant to be bringing into this world? What are we doing to serve that unity consciousness, that collective consciousness, which is the Aquarian energy? It's what we're in. So we need to have focus, Netzach energy, mission. Netzach is mission. persistence, ambition, drive, focused energy. We need to have that healthy. We need to have that balance with our surrender, our hod to these cosmic energies that are moving in. And that way we can move through the dark nights on an individual level and a collective. We can help one another to do that, and we can channel and be a channel for the collective. And we can be someone who celebrates people's uniqueness and expansion. You know, we can be someone who allows others to be who they truly are. So then our individual evolution, I was looking at it like a cell, each individual like a cell in a body, and as that cell's evolving within that body to meet the changing condition of the whole entity, if we're looking at the all and unity consciousness, the all, the source is changing, that we're moving. You know, we're moving into a different age, into a completely different energy. So we can draw strength that it's not just me or you, it's all of us. You know, but we need to celebrate people's uniqueness and their individuation, their individual evolution and creativity, but know that we're kind of cells in the body. It's the only way I can kind of put it. Yeah, so we're evolving because the energies are evolving, and the cosmic energy is evolving and changing, and will change, but it's going to be a lot more painful if we attach to the old and we don't embrace the new that's moving in. And it's not this selfish shadow trickster archetype anymore. It's this kind of illuminated sun. It's this openness, childlike. But we're not meant to be childish. It is, this illumination is a time of growing up as well, spiritual maturity, you know. So, you know, these feelings that we may get of fear, of victimization, yeah, they do come, but just observe them. Just observe them. Allow them, observe them, and then watch them wash away, because they don't, if you grasp onto them, they don't enhance the collective mission that we've signed up for, whether we remember it or not. We've signed up for this time that we're in, you know. We're here for a purpose. We're not just here, I mean, we're here to enjoy, and I mean, there's so much beauty and wonderful things to enjoy, but we're also here to serve collectively. Yeah, so neither, on another note, you know, serving ourselves, neither just dominating others' creative expression of soul. So there's a kind of requirement for us all to harness this incredible energetics of this Aquarian energy and birth it through Yesod. Go through that. You're birthing. If you're in that position, you're in the middle of birthing. Any women who's had a child, it looks worse than that. It's painful. Birth is painful, labour is painful, and I think collectively we're kind of almost crowning the collective creation. So it's individual and collective, yeah. So they were my kind of nice little light reflections this morning. Then when I shuffled the white light deck, I got Shekinah again. Now she came up, I think it was in Yesod of Sephirot, I think. But she is Shekinah, that's in the Talmud, and she is the feminine divine presence of God in Malkut, just below that. Malkut is our world. And you know, this birthing happens here in Yesod, and Yesod is the foundation. It's our spiritual foundation. It's the place that we go through that dark night of the soul to birth out into the world the energies that are beyond us, above us, far bigger than us, far greater than us. We just need to, you know, push it out. So have that determination of Netzach to birth it through. Yeah, so Shekinah, she's the in the Talmud, she's the divine presence of God, feminine presence of God in the world. Yeah, so she's Gaia energy, really. It's the way I see it. The oracle says that when a soul is approaching the sacred experience of Shekinah, the ego has given way to some degree. Yeah, if you're there, your ego, the trickster, has kind of lost a hold somewhere, because you're actually there, and it will do all it can to grab you back again. You know, guilt, victim mentality, blame, shame, you know, any of those, it will do. That's why that's such a difficult process. Yeah, so when you're encountering an experience of the divine feminine, in that sense, presence, your ego's given up, so, to some degree. There's enough inner space and heart willingness to surrender and receive, so spirit can infuse the soul. Luminous light channeled, and we resonate more with spirit than with ego. We feel more like our true self. So that's the message of Shekinah. So yeah, take heart. If you're having an illumination and you're, you know, you're in this place, or you're seeing that part of you, or, you know, you're having an encounter with divine feminine, you're being illuminated. You're seeing your open-heartedness of a child. You know, you're receiving that way on some level, even if you feel it's a struggle, you are doing, but you're also having your childish ways illuminated. You know, it's happening to us all. I say you, it's me too. We have all encountered it, or we are encountering it, or we will encounter it because of this cosmic energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull us a chakra card. I've got all the chakra cards here. I thought I'd leave it open wide. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of talk about the divine feminine energy. But there's kind of like, it's because there's an imbalance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And that is all being brought back into balance. You know, you see the polarity really, really strongly out in society at the moment. You know, this kind of division between male and female, and you know, things that are coming up, illumination of all sorts. So yeah, so it's pretty active. It's because we're meant to blend, not us, not men and women, but I think it's that's the material outworking of that, and to some degree probably, you know, our small self manifestation of that. But there's something really beautiful going on, an illumination of that kind of. Yesod is the marriage. It's the spiritual bedchamber. It's the merging and unifying. It's the sexual union on a spiritual level. That is what's going on, because a new age is coming. Completely shifted paradigm. We're evolving. Yeah. Don't be afraid of that dark night of the soul. Yeah, flexibility. So this is our, I believe this is our sacral. So that's, yeah, thank you, Spirit. That's our Yesod, our sacral. So flexibility, we need flexibility when we're being illuminated in the light, you know. We don't need to be like rigid and, you know, overly attached to things. We need to allow a certain amount of flow to come. We need to be able to let things or ways of being drop, you know, ways that we have been conditioning, thought patterns, dogma, rigid beliefs, all that. It's all going to get challenged. It's change. We're in transition. We're in massive collective transition. That's why it looks such a mess. You got economic systems falling, you got the families falling, communities are falling. We got, you know, what's happening in 2020. It's like everything we were safe and secure with is going. It's a collective dark night of the soul, and it's coming in because we're changing, massively changing in cosmic energies. We're going from Pisces, we're going to Aquarian. So it's a rebalancing. We need to have that balancing, and we need to have that flexibility to allow the balancing to happen. Don't fight anything that's happening. Embrace it. You know, embrace. I keep saying it, but just embrace it. And I have to keep telling myself that, you know. I have to really tell myself that often, because it's scary sometimes, you know. We like safe, we like what we know, but we're going to have to get used to this constant challenge and change. I don't know how long it's going to last for, but I mean, last year was intense. We don't know if that intensity, I think the astrologers are saying that the cosmic energies are less intense this year, but who knows? I think you need to talk to go watch an evolutionary astrologist, plenty of them, if you want to know up ahead what the energies are doing. But the bottom line is, whatever the energies are doing, it doesn't matter if we're not, you know, learning who we are on our inner. I talk more about the kind of inner stuff, the soul journey, but it's collective. Right, we got air energy, Aquarian energy. Yeah, once you acknowledge your self-worth, your confidence will soar. Yeah, so if you're in this energy, yeah, if you're feeling in victim mode, if you're feeling, you know, loss, self-loathing, shame, guilt, fear, blame, any of that, just acknowledge yourself. It's what this illumination is for. Acknowledge your self-worth, your divine essence, your beautiful, radiant being. And you have got medicine. We've all got a medicine in us. We've all got a purpose and a reason that we're here. So find your medicine so that you can share it with the collective. It's what you're here for. It's what we're all here for. All right then, I'll leave it there. Lots of love. See you tomorrow.